Are we live?
Hey everyone.
603 crew, where are we at?
Welcome. I can't, this is off to a great start. Welcome back to the Clone Zone. The last Clone Zone for a while, probably.
Yeah.
It is Thursday at 6:03 p.m. Eastern Time, but we just got back from Pacific Coast time, and then tomorrow we're flying to London, and
Yeah. Oh boy.
we're just all kinds
Can't
of
wait
confused.
to go back to the airport and
Yeah.
get back on a plane.
Yeah, we basically just got home, set everything up for the stream, got everything out of our bags, put the cameras back up and the tripod and the laptop, and then I'm gonna take it all back down
And
put
then we're gonna
toss it back in a bag.
edit a few other videos, finish packing.
We're mostly packed, so that's
Mostly
good.
packed.
We're mostly packed.
So yeah, if we're a little loopy, it's not because we've been drinking. We do have drinks, but
We just started that, so that's not. Don't blame the operator.
we're trying to get into like vacation mode, even though it's hard because we were just at a Star Wars event, a work event, and then we'll be going to Celebration, which is another kind of work event, but it's going to be super fun. And then we have to like try to vacation in between. But I should stop complaining, first of all. How is everybody doing? I feel like we've been gone for so long, but we haven't really. It's just been a couple of days.
You didn't sound like you were complaining. It's just
Yeah.
we're doing a lot, but it's all great fun stuff.
Yeah. Oh, the sad batch. Yeah. So partially this stream is going to be just us airing our grievances and grieving together.
Yeah, it's funny that like I don't have any problems with the episode other like what happened was obviously very sad. But it was a really good episode also. So yeah, lots of thoughts about that. Do you have anything you want to say? We just rewatched the episode too while we
Pippin, have you come to
ate.
comfort me? Pippin just jumped up here.
Come into the camera, Pippin. Don't sit on the side of the table.
So what did you ask me?
If you had any opening thoughts about the episode you wanted to share.
I'm not okay.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
We
Like,
were both just kind of in shock when
Yeah.
it was happening.
nothing about that episode went how we thought it was gonna go, and by the end of it, I was just like, I kind of hate this. I kind of do. Like, I'm having a lot of trouble with it, but I'm also in deep denial that Tech is even dead because he's not. He's not.
It's a popular theory, and I certainly can't deny that Star Wars has a long history of throwing people
They're playing over here. I wish you guys could see.
throwing people off of ledges only to bring them back. I'm gonna see if I can just move the camera.
They're playing with all of our emotions. Oh, look at him! Pip and Cam.
Play with Hilo again.
Oh, he's thinking about it. No, he's just gonna jump down.
He's like, I made my appearance, and I'm off.
Pip and Cam. Hilo is also, I don't know if he's gonna have energy while we do this or if he's gonna be tired.
I think he's
because-
gonna be tired. He stayed with my parents for the past few days, and he's usually just dead tired when he comes home.
Yeah, he just got home as well.
But yeah, like Star Wars, you know, unless there's a body, there's always a chance. Or even if there is a body that's been cut in half, there's a chance. But
There's always a chance.
I don't know. I'm also in denial about it, but I'm probably going to assume that he is gone.
No,
Okay.
I refuse.
I reject that reality.
There's
I think there's a chance. I will say that.
I don't know. Like,
But I love that, like, that's the big question. Our Q&A this week is going to be all about the Bad Batch as well. And the biggest question, like 8 people asked, do you think he's really dead? Like, come on, really? Like, everyone wants it to not be true.
Yeah.
Which is a testament to the writing.
I mean, they're certainly treating it like he made this huge sacrifice and it is dead, but I'm like, why would they have Hemlock have his goggles and say that's all we could salvage? I was like, no way. That he's in some medical stasis and Hemlock is going to do experiments on him, which is also awful.
Yeah.
But like, now that Omega is on Mount Tantus, I feel like the two, she'll find him or he'll find her somehow. Like, he's gonna be there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you are right that if he is alive, it's not gonna be like a happy reunion. It's not gonna be the best news in the world, because yeah, I think that someone in our Patreon Q&A asked if he is the new Bucky from Captain America. He falls off of a train, and then later he comes back, but he is the Winter Soldier. Mm-hmm. And the next time we see Tech, he might be... I kept thinking Crosshair might be turned into one of those nameless, numberless troopers, but if it's Tech next, that's very Winter Soldier.
Andy brought up a good point in chat that we just talked about, because we just rewatched the episodes. The goggles scene gave me big Eye of Sauron with Frodo's mithril shirt vibes.
Mouth of Sauron, but yeah.
Mouth of Sauron. Nerd.
But yeah, I had the same thought. And again, someone else in our Patreon thing had that same thought of just, it seemed like coming to gloat when maybe they don't have a body themselves. Like he said, this is all I could salvage. Maybe that's all he could find. Maybe Tech... we're gonna find out in season 3 that Tech survived, which, by the way, we don't have an official announcement of season 3 yet, but come on,
they're gonna do it at Celebration.
Yeah, they have the panel. There's no way that that's the end of the series,
right? I've already got some super chats here, but I want to say hi to all of our Biggs Mega fans, and we've got Fudge David is a new Biggs Mega fan. Welcome, Fudge David. And they also sent out a super chat, said, been watching for a while now, but these lives have filled a hole in my heart that has been there since the old Star Wars show got canceled.
We used to love watching that too.
Yeah, thank you. And then we had another Biggs Mega fan message in here. I think these are hard to keep up with because they don't show up in our Excel sheet. Bradshaw Studio, a member for 2 months, just says hello to all.
Thank you.
And Francisco Gios, welcome back, guys. Thank you. We're only back for a short time, but we're back for now.
We get one night in our own bed and then off to London for 10 days, which is going to be great.
Yeah. I'm so excited to explore London. But let's get into some super chat questions. I'm sure we'll come in and out of like what we thought of the show. The only other big problem I had was frickin' Sid.
Oh man, okay. Like I'm sure this will come up, and
yeah.
Sid and Saw Gerrera, they're on my Dunzo list. Like Saw Gerrera was obviously always problematic.
Yeah. But
now I'm like, look at what you did.
Yeah, there is a super chat in here about Sid coming up, so I'll save that for now.
I was already mad at Saw, and then when Sid... I'll save it.
Save it.
I'll save it. I'm getting mad all over again.
David Canyo, thank you so much for the first super chat of the night. Ever since the I process things differently line, I've been in love with tech. As someone on the spectrum, for having representation in Star Wars makes me feel even more gutted how things have played out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That, to me, is such a punch in the face after, like, after everything we've gotten with Tech in this season, he's had such a crazy character arc, and like we've gotten to know him a lot more. He had that like really, really special moment with Omega, and yeah, he's neurodivergent, and a lot of fans saw that and have really grown attached to him and to that representation in Star Wars. And to have that taken away so quickly after we just got it is awful. It sucks. So
yeah, I related to Tech a lot too. When we were watching it, we do have our reactions filmed. It's going to take us a minute to get everything edited and out.
Oh yeah.
But like, I think we were just in shock. I was like, I'm scared for Tech, but he'll be fine. And as it was happening, I was like, I didn't even have much of a reaction except mouth open, like, nuh-uh, no.
Yeah, we were probably just like, what? Just like pure confusion and shock on our faces. That reaction is probably the only one that will come out looking good, because we had our camera settings all wrong for the first two, so we'll see if I can salvage those.
I think they'll be watchable. They're just not going to look great, but
very dark.
Yeah.
And here's another one, a super chat from Stuart J. I would hold a more emotional weight if there isn't a twist with Tech's fate, but when Hemlock gave back Tech's goggles, I can't shake the feeling of the mouth of Sauron showing Frodo's mithril. Yeah, that I hadn't thought of that connection, but now that it's been brought to my attention several times, it totally
I love how many people
tracks.
Have that thought. And Dave Filoni is not the head writer on the show or anything, but he is a big Tolkien fan, so it wouldn't surprise me. And I would be very happy to know that there is some hope for Tech again.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Recovery Hacker in the chat said, "Since when do we follow orders?" is one of my new favorite Star Wars lines. I think the Star Wars TikTok changed their little bio to that quote. Yeah, that's such a great line.
A good badass send off.
Mm. Eric Bruno has a fantastic super chat. Isn't it so great that Tech had a built-in parachute?
Yes, it is.
I was saying, another Lord of the Rings thing. I didn't even think about this, but
yeah.
We were watching the episode and I was like, he probably called the Eagles and they saved him.
Swooped in and grabbed him.
We didn't see what happened under all that fog.
Eriadu is also just like a terrifying planet. So even if he did survive, it's like now he's going to have to survive a bunch of crazy animals and stuff.
Yeah. Someone said the camera's blurry. Was this the camera we took?
Yes.
It shouldn't be blurry.
Doesn't look blurry to me.
Okay. Might have...
I'll wipe the lens off real quick. Is that okay to do?
Not with a t-shirt. It's fine. Does the lens look dirty?
No.
Alright. Maybe it just like buffered temporarily. Yeah. No issues. Okay. Yes. Tech had a tiny parachute or an eagle friend something.
I've seen plenty of people saying that someone's going to come out on stage with a Tech Lives shirt on.
Yeah. Yeah, I should turn this into that.
Yeah.
We got these shirts long time ago. I think when first season just started, and it's like a 3XL, so I could wear this as a dress, but it makes me so sad to wear now. And Daryl Cooper, thank you for the next one. My prediction was right, but can Sid be redeemed? She's on my Dunzo list.
Yeah.
Like, I compared her to Nate in Ted Lasso.
Speaking of, we haven't seen the latest Ted Lasso, so no spoilers in the chat.
Yeah, that's true. But
yeah.
Man, I had a feeling that Sid would just not come through for them. And in fact, she did the exact opposite. And
no, she did exactly what you thought she would do.
She did the opposite of coming through
Oh,
for
okay,
them
yeah.
to help. And she had the nerve to be like, I tried to look out for you boys.
Yeah, I was like,
no, you did not.
Oh, Sid.
What a terrible
I was
person.
so mad. She like offers Wrecker that drink, and then she kind of like is giving him little side eyes. I was like, Sid did something.
Yeah.
And then they very quickly confirmed that. I was furious. You know, we try to keep things family friendly here, but I was like, I want to say a bad word on this reaction so bad.
Yeah.
Like, because that's what you expect from Star Wars. You expect someone to like struggle with being a better person, but then eventually they come through, and I'm sure the writers all knew that, and they were preying on those expectations. They got me. They got me good.
I mean, yeah, David Livingston in chat said Sid will try to redeem herself in season 3. She can try. It's gonna take a lot for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she can be redeemed. She can be a better person. I don't know if I'm going to forgive her.
Yeah.
That's my issue. Like, she might end the series better than she is now, but I'm gonna be like, I hope we never see you again.
Charpy is comparing Sid to Lando. I don't think
No,
that's quite the same.
I reject that. I'm just because, well, Lando.
There wasn't a child with them.
There wasn't a child with them. Also, the Empire showed up first and threatened him and his city.
Right.
Like, he has a bunch of people under his care that he has to protect. So he was forced into it and very quickly turned back around and helped them all escape when he could. Sid sold them out. Like, she was paid.
Yeah.
She gained credits for turning them in while they have a kid, and they just lost one of their brothers. They're all grieving, and she's gonna do that and be like, I had no choice.
What a twist of the knife. Like, we had already been stabbed with Tech's death, and then that happened. And like, I've seen a lot of people say, like, I don't normally cry about Star Wars, and I cried at this episode. Like, I definitely teared up. I was too shocked to really cry, I think, the first time we watched it. But I was like, damn, is this a kid's show? I am fully distraught.
Like, Bad Batch is interesting because, you know, it is an animated show, but I think they know that so many of its viewers are coming off of the Clone Wars. So all of those people are adults now. And it's accessible to kids. It's not like gory or anything. A lot of the episodes are really fun, but then if you were to cut from the faster episode, the riot racing episode, and then just jump straight to here, scar some poor child.
Yeah. I like what Brandon Weaver in the chat said. Tech's girlfriend is gonna mess it up at the beginning of season 3.
Oh, that's true. Like, they know each other.
Fee is going to be so sad and angry, and yeah, I hope she has a part in rescuing him because he's not dead.
I did this wrong. Yep.
Charpy has the next super chat. If any of the Bad Batch crew could survive that fall, it would be Tech. There were incoming ships that he might hitch a ride on, right? I am unwell. Same.
Everyone is in the bargaining stage right now.
Yeah, but this could have happened, and it's Star Wars, so nobody's ever really gone and dead, and like, yeah, we didn't see a body.
It's funny to watch this in real time. I mean, funny / sad, but yeah, we were all like, no, that didn't just happen, and now we're bargaining and being like, no, he could have made it, and here's how, which in Star Wars is like, yeah, he could have made it.
Yeah. Maddie Gunner said Wrecker would just bounce off the ground.
Just be like, ah!
I loved that it took more than one stun to take him down.
It's like 5. You can hear the shot still going off in the back.
Gio Flores with the next super chat just says in all caps, "I am not okay." Crying emoji, crying emoji, crying emoji. Yeah, it's gonna take a minute for us to recoup from that finale,
and it was after Mando, and it was like that was just a fun episode, lots of fun action. We were like, that was great.
Right.
Now let's turn on the Bad Batch and watch them rescue Crosshair. Let's keep the good times going. Thanks, Lucasfilm.
Andy in the chat said it was crazy emotional whiplash after the Mando episode. Exactly. Like, I think that made it even worse. But I keep thinking about how close we are to Celebration and how we're gonna have the Bad Batch panel while we're there. And something I said, I don't think I said it on the reaction, I think I said it afterwards, but I was like, I'm gonna be at that panel and I'm gonna boo everyone on stage for what they did.
I think you said that on the reaction. I'm gonna boo them all.
Not because I didn't like the show, but because how dare they?
Yeah, how dare you? I had a thought and I lost it. It'll come back to me.
Andy says, I've never been more disappointed about being right that Plan 99 was somebody pulling a 99. Yeah. Do you think that was the Plan 99? Do you think that was named after Clone 99?
It makes sense. I mean, that's how he died too. Is a sacrifice.
Yeah.
So the fact that they as a unit are named after him, and also they had a plan named after him. And oh god, we were so stupid. We were so naive to think Plan 99 means all of them have to be there. And so Crosshair is going to be in it, and they're going to be a team again, and everything's going to be happy, and they're all going to work together, and they're going to get back to Pabu, and they're going to high five. Like, that's...
Well, because we also thought that there was a possibility that they were ending this show with this finale, which they obviously aren't doing now. But yeah, we were like, if this is the end of the Bad Batch, it's got to have a happy ending. And it was the opposite. But I'm excited that there's going to be a season 3. There's no official confirmation on that yet, but come on. They killed someone. They took Omega. They revealed that Omega has a clone sister.
Which was like the twist everyone saw coming. But
yeah, and it felt weird to see that at the end of everything else that we had just witnessed. I was just like, wait, really? At that point, it just felt a little too soap opera-y to me, and I was just like over it. I was like, I don't care. This is too much.
It was so like obvious that I had turned against the theory. The past few weeks I've been like, I don't think so, because I think they would have made it more clear by now. But you know, just the New Zealand accent, it was like, yep, that was enough. Yeah. So I will accept. I will eat my words once again. I was wrong again.
Star Orange 36, thanks for the next super chat. I hope they put 2 and 2 together and connect the Commando clones from their time on Mount Tantus. Also, Tech is alive. I'm on the denial train. Everyone is welcome to join.
Say the first part again.
Put 2 and 2 together and connect the Commando clones from their time on Mount Tantus.
Well,
I don't know.
They've never been to Mount Tantus, so.
Oh. Well, I think they're saying maybe Commando clones are from Mount Tantus or made there or trained there. I don't think anyone knows about Mount Tantus.
Yeah, I think right now it's a complete mystery to them, and that's how season 3 will begin. I wonder if there's going to be a time jump again, and Hunter and Echo and Wrecker are going to be desperately searching for Omega. But I think that gives them a good end to work with Rex and the other clones.
Yeah.
Like, because they would obviously be interested in that as well.
They're saying Scorch was on Mount Tantus.
Yeah. Oh, no. Okay, I think you're talking about Darrow. They went to Darrow.
Yeah, because they haven't been to Mount Tantus.
Yeah, it was a similar, like, inside a mountain base, but it was on a... Huh. Hold on.
Hold on now.
I've just been assuming Mount Tantus would be on Wayland, the planet it was on in Legends, but maybe not. I think it's probably I still think it's on a different planet, and I do think they did.
Yeah.
I think they named it Wayland in concept art.
They did.
But
Or, I mean, that could have just been a code name, but that would be weird.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, though.
I mean, there might be something to that. We'll just have to see.
I mean, they have changed names before. Hauser, I remember when they put his action figure out as a reveal, and I forget what it was named, but it was not Hauser.
It says Wayland on the episode guides. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, it's definitely Wayland.
Okay.
Francisco Gios has the next super chat. I'm so mad with Saw, and the V-Wings should be obsolete. Yeah, Saw messed everything up.
I have always been like, yeah, I get what they're saying with him, that he sacrifices way too much for nothing real. But now that it has super affected characters that we know, and it's also like he's on their side, and they didn't kill him in episode 1 of the series, which they were ordered to do, but he turns around and won't like return the favor of, not that he was trying to kill them, but he just wouldn't even give them the time of day. He wouldn't listen.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's on my Dunzo list. He and Sid.
Mount Tantus is on Wayland, and the Commandos were there when they brought Lama Su. Well, yeah, the Commandos were definitely on Mount Tantus. I just don't think the Bad Batch knows that.
The Bad Batch know nothing about Mount Tantus.
They weren't ever there, and they didn't see the Commandos there, or know that they are there. Queersland Australia, thank you for the next one. Ben Mendelsohn came back for only one line. Do you think this means Krennic is coming back bigger for season 3, or was recorded while coming in for Andor season 2? I actually feel like they took those words from Rogue One. I don't think he even came in to record a line.
That would not surprise me in the least.
It was kind of awkward how little he spoke. And I was like, okay, they didn't even bother to have him come record any lines. So I don't know if he'll be in season 3 in any capacity. I think it was just a fun, like, hey, look, it's him.
Yeah, which I jumped up and did the Leonardo DiCaprio, like, that's him! It's Krennic, white uniform, look at him!
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree that I think, for now, he did not record that line. That it was just... crap, I just realized.
Because his only line was,
yes,
Governor Tarkin. And he definitely said those words in Rogue One, maybe not all together, but...
Well, it could have been something they shot and then lost in reshoots. So it's kind of like how they had the original pilots, Red Squadron and stuff, in Rogue One, because they had alternate takes of things.
Krennic hadn't leveled up to his cape status yet.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was interesting, like... And maybe he did record this. We don't know, but he seemed kind of polite. Like, it seemed like he and Tarkin weren't at each other's throats yet.
They can do so much with audio editing, though. They could make an angry yes sound like a polite yes. He could show back up in season 3 and have recorded stuff, but that's just my theory, is that that was ripped from...
I think that makes sense. But to go to my usual tinfoil hat thing, if they made the model, then that might be a sign that he'll show up later.
I don't know if y'all can hear Hilo, but he is
snoring away.
Snoring away down there. Classic Hilo. Everyone who watches our reactions or listens to our commentaries will have definitely heard Hilo snoring at some point.
He is good and tired, and that's good. Same, Hilo.
Ash Sieg, thanks for being a Big Smega Fans member for 4 months. And says, am I going crazy? Could have sworn you were in Cali yesterday, LOL. We were.
Yep.
We just got back.
We were there this morning.
We just got back.
Our flight was at 7 a.m. We landed here at 2 p.m. We're regular Globetrotters. Call us Carmen Sandiego.
Going off to London tomorrow. Very excited about London, not about getting back on a plane. Although I'm getting pretty good at sleeping on planes.
I am not.
You slept a little.
That doesn't mean I'm good at it.
But you're getting better. I'm gonna have my in-flight dinner and some free wine. Oh, we might not get that if it's a Virgin flight.
No, we will. I looked.
We'll get some free wine, and then I'm gonna take a sleeping pill or something and knock myself out for the rest of the trip.
I'm probably going to be editing some stuff.
Yeah, that's true too.
Then I'm going to play more Hades. Or Metroid Prime Remastered.
I need to download more Drag Race because I got through like half of season 14. Anyways, getting way off track. I'm the Stein. Thank you for the next super chat. At first I was angry about tech, but when Hemlock said the only thing they could salvage were the goggles, I'm now convinced we'll see tech again. I may be in denial, but I feel like history of fiction is on my side. I'm right there with you. I feel like they would not have put that line in and had Hemlock with the goggles, because like that means Hemlock
found them.
Maybe he had cameras set up. I was like, how would he know where he fell or if he fell at all? Maybe the other troopers told him, but yeah, he went looking for him. But I don't know.
We're all bargaining right now. We're probably not going to find anything out for another 2 years, so everyone buckle up.
Jamie Dorr, thank you for the next super chat. Hi again. I'm still heartbroken with the season finale that Tech gave his life for his family. If I were in that scene in Sid's bar, I would shoot her dead before she got far with the credits. Also, that twist ending. What? Yeah, we haven't really talked much about Omega's new big sister. Not new, but like new to her.
Yeah, I don't know what that's... I mean, I assume it's just kind of like the other clones, that Emery has advanced aging. And Omega is still... Omega and Alpha, or Boba Fett, are the only two that were unaltered in that way. And so the rest of the clones were aged up more quickly.
Yeah. Real quick, because it's relevant. Go Sabers 7 sent a super chat asking me who my favorite season 14 queen is. I don't remember what episode I'm on, but I think my favorites right now are Willow Pill and Cornbread. Is that her queen name? I can't remember. I think it's Cornbread.
Cornbread? That's a great name.
She's hilarious. And like the two of them seem like the most unlikely best friends. I don't know. I should show them to you and then you would understand why it seems kind of unlikely. But anyways, those are my two favorites at the moment. So yeah. The sister clone. I feel like she could play a part in season 3 of helping Omega escape, because she had that moment where she looked like she wasn't crazy about what Hemlock was doing with Crosshair, but she still seems to totally be on board with everything he's doing. So it's hard to say what her motivations are right now, what she wants to do, or if that'll change.
I agree. I think she will eventually be an ally. I think right now she's still with the Empire, but she's going to break. She's not going to, especially with Hemlock threatening Nalase, saying that if you don't help, Omega will suffer the consequences. And then Emery is probably going to have to be around to watch that and be like, okay, you're literally hurting me, like a copy of a different version of me. I don't think she's going to stand around for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Omega will turn her to the good side. I hope so. I mean, if anyone can do it, it'll be Omega. She's too cute. Shayla Starkley, thank you for the next one. Maybe they'll take some DNA from his goggles and clone a fresh tech. I mean, well...
That wouldn't be the same.
That's why they wanted Omega, was to get fresher DNA or something like that. But so, if they're cloning anyone, it's going to be from Omega, I guess.
But I don't think that's why the Kaminoans wanted her. The Empire just wants her as leverage for Nalase.
True. I did, yeah, and like Nalase saying, what the Emperor wants can't be done, or something along those lines. I was like, I wonder what exactly... I mean, we know it's cloning. We know the Emperor wants clones, but I wonder what the exact order is.
I think there's probably multiple things. I mean, that little creepy clone room at the very end of the episode looked an awful lot like what we saw in The Mandalorian, so I think there are connections there. The obvious choice is that he wants to be able to clone his body and jump his spirit over there, but they're having trouble replicating Force sensitivity or the ability to do that because the Force has a spiritual aspect to it.
Yeah, that's why they wanted Grogu, and that's why, like, Pershing... We didn't get to hear Pershing finish his sentence about what exactly he was working on, but I think he was trying to figure out how to, like, not necessarily clone Grogu, but figure out how to clone the midichlorians that make someone Force sensitive, which, yeah,
I think they just want Force sensitive clones, and yeah, it's not going to happen. But then, what's his face? Hemlock also said something about cloning a society, like that they will alter the way people are on a genetic level, and that they'll all be subservient. So I don't know what that's about. I think that they have multiple cloning projects going on, and also they have a Zillow Beast. So there's maybe Palpatine wants a Force sensitive Zillow Beast, and Nalase is like, no. Don't want to do that.
Star Orange 36 has another super chat, thank you. I'm really nervous that after the Bad Batch we won't see any more Clone Wars style animation. It's so beautiful. I'm going to miss these Bad Batch streams. I'm definitely going to miss watching it, talking about it, because not everyone has enjoyed this show, or maybe not this season in particular, but I think it's been really, really good Star Wars. And it's been really well written. And a lot of times I feel like I like it a little more than Mando until I see Grogu, and then I'm like, no, this is better. But
I'm going to miss talking about it as well.
Yeah.
I don't know that they would ever just completely get rid of the animation style, though, because they know that it's popular with the people. Bad Batch is...
They've gotten so good at it.
And Bad Batch is a direct sequel to the Clone Wars. I don't think... I mean, Young Jedi Adventures is proof that not every series is going to follow the same art style. By the way, I thought that the animation on those shorts looked great. The details on all of the characters' hair, especially, I was like, that just it's an impressive level for a kid's show.
Yeah, I think it looked great. It's not my preferred style though. Like it just,
Sure.
I mean, it looks exactly like what it should look like for the targeted audience. Like it's a little too kiddie for me.
Oh yeah, like I'm not saying
The style, but Nubs is what I'm there for.
Yeah. I'm not saying I would watch a show like targeted at me with that art style, but when we were watching those shorts, I was like, wow, they didn't skimp, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's like they really...
Which maybe because they're shorts, they were like, all right, we can really go hard on the animation and make it look really, really good. Ghost Sabers 7 had an earlier super chat. Enjoy a couple pints in London on me. Thank you so much for everything you do for the community. Your vids got me into Star Wars animation, and I'm very grateful. Parentheses, not sarcasm, even based on recent events. LOL, RIP Tech.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love hearing stuff like that we've convinced someone to take the next step into Star Wars, whether it's watching the animated series, because like I had to be pushed by myself to watch Star Wars Rebels, and I'm so glad I did. But whenever we convince someone to read a book or a comic or something like that, makes me feel good.
Yeah, it makes me feel like we're doing something right. Dragonus Prime, thank you for the next one. It's you, dude. I do believe that the fandom is going through what one would call technical difficulties.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Kelly Knox, is that you?
That would be incredible. But she's showed up in our chats. Top tier pun. Ouch. Too soon.
Ouch.
Oof.
They teach you in improv, a groan is as good as a laugh.
Right.
So good job.
David Livingston, thank you for the next super chat. Everyone is asking and saying what I should have. Wait. Everyone is asking and saying what I would have. Just giving support to the nicest Star Wars channel I watch. Love you guys and your audience. Thanks for sharing so much with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Sorry, I read that weird. I'm going on
We're
very
we're
poor
loopy.
amounts of sleep.
I had to do an interview yesterday, and that was after I think I took a 2-hour nap on Tuesday night. We woke up at midnight, watched the episodes, then I was up till 5, and I took a 2-hour nap, and I just got up and started going for the rest of the day. And then we slept for like 4 hours last night.
Yeah,
I took another hour nap maybe on the plane.
We could have turned in early.
But where's the fun in that?
We haven't done one of those kinds of events in a very, very long time, since pre-COVID, and there was a bunch of people there that we haven't seen in forever, so we weren't going to miss the opportunity to catch up with all of them. So we're paying for it now.
Yeah.
It was worth it. Guiguio, thank you for the next one. Tech versus the wildlife on Iriadu in season 3, right?
Yeah. They're going to find him, and he's just going to be full-on wilderness man.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping we would see some crazy animal on Iriadu, which now it's another planet I have to get used to how to pronounce it. I always called it Iriadu. Iriadu.
Iriadu, Iriadon't. A couple of people are asking about the game. We can't talk about it until Monday. So
our impressions will come out
tuned.
Monday. We can't say anything about it other than the fact that we have played it.
Played 3 hours of it.
Yes.
And yeah, they were like very, very adamant in you can't say anything about it. And even when you can say stuff about it, it'll be a while until we can get into specifics.
Yeah. But our impressions will be out on Monday. The embargo lifts at 11 o'clock Eastern, I think.
Calm Like a Bomb, aka 12th Dragon. Can we finally all agree that Saw sucks?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been written as an extremist who is putting his own selfish, need to cause chaos and get revenge ahead of everything else. But yeah, this is an instance where we're really, really getting to see that as fans, the fact that he messed all of this up for the Bad Batch and potentially caused the death of one of them, like he's definitely problematic.
He always was, but now it's like we've really turned on him because he mostly was affecting not main characters. I mean, like you see what he does on Jeddah and it's terrible. And he's just like attacking these Kyber transports with no regard for the people who live in the city, including that crying child. Like, the partisans don't care. Mm-hmm. But now that it's affected us and someone that we have spent a lot of time with, we're like, no, we're over Saw.
Char P in the chat is comparing Saw to Leroy Jenkins, which is...
Leroy seems a lot cooler. Leroy had good intentions.
Leroy is a hero of a different era and a different time.
Leroy was just overly enthusiastic.
Yeah. You can do that kind of stuff in a video game. Kitty in chat says, I've always disliked Saw, but understood him. He's grieving and never getting over it because he won't relax. Mm-hmm. But damn, now I hate the dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you do have the ability to get to know Saw through the Clone Wars, and you know what happens to his sister, so you kind of understand why he's doing what he's doing, but it's still just like, come on, man. Like,
to quote Tech, just because I understand you doesn't mean I agree with you.
Yes. He should know by the time of... Well, we've seen him so many times now that I'm just like, what hasn't he been in?
Yeah, he's been in so much.
It's crazy that he just keeps going. And then when we see him in Rogue One, he's kind of lost his mind.
Mm-hmm. And like he said, there's not much of me left. Like, he's just... That's what that kind of war will do to you. Mm-hmm. And that hate. Even if you are hating the bad guys.
Yeah. Oh, I just saw something that gave me an idea. Tech will get cloned and have no memory of his previous life. So, what if this whole season hasn't just been about Tech, but all of Tech's stuff has been about him progressing and learning how to communicate better and, learning to not be so cold, blunt, standoffish, robotic, whatever. So if he's still alive and he gets turned into a killing machine, it'll make it that much more satisfying when he comes out of that or learns how to get past that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like that.
The whole complete arc for Tech would make more sense if that's what's going to happen.
I like that.
And that would just feel really good. Lucasfilm would be super nice.
It'd be super nice if he weren't dead.
I know you're listening. Oh, Chad has the next super chat and it just says, it's the sad batch now.
Remember when we made jokes about the dad batch? Those were fun times.
Now it's the sad dad
sad
batch.
batch.
The sad dad batch -1. Maddie Gunner, thank you for the next super chat. Good soldiers may follow orders, but legends don't. Aww. That moment where he kind of sighs and looks down and then has the hero moment, like, something about, was it in slow motion or was it just, maybe it was the music? I don't know what it was about that sigh, but it was like so powerful. Just the very subtle body language was a lot.
I did not enjoy getting images from that episode of like just scrubbing through and saving some screen caps for the videos, and I was like, this is more upsetting. Just having to linger on all those moments.
Scotty Heron, thank you for the next one. As soon as Saw showed up, I had a sinking feeling things were going to spiral and go bad. Was very, very nervous just waiting for the shoe to drop.
Same. The second, I really liked the progression of how they handled all that, where the first half of the episode is really like just fun and lighthearted, and I love that little moment with Fee and Omega where she's like, we're going on a covert mission, and like she just has this big smile. They get onto the planet with no problem. They're like, this is going to take precision, and they all look at Wrecker, and that was funny, and it's like they get you really into your comfort zone. Tech's doing things, Wrecker's afraid of heights, Omega's doing great.
It's all predictable stuff.
You're like, here we go. But then when you hear, that's weird, there are a lot of security things being tripped, and it's not us.
And you're like, wait, what?
I was like, weird. Oh no, like someone else is here. And then the second they found the bombs, I was like, it's Saw Gerrera. And then he popped out immediately after. It was like it was predictable. So I like that they didn't treat anything like a twist. They let the audience go like, oh my God, it's Saw. And then he comes out and he's like, it is Saw. And you're like, oh no, this is the worst possible person to be here.
Before we saw the bomb, I thought it was going to be like Cody. Off on his own kind of secret mission. Or we know Rex was on some other mission, but like Echo would have known if it were the same mission, you know? Sean Room, thanks for the next one. Shout out to Tarkin for always being the absolute king of jerks. King of the jerks. I'll never forgive him for this one. Hope to see you guys at Celebration. Yeah, we'll be there.
We'll definitely be there. We'll be holding meetups and stuff.
Well, we have a lot less work to do. Well, I don't want to say that.
Way to jinx it.
Hopefully we get a bunch of news and we'll be very busy.
Right now, like the panels we want to cover are mostly like in the morning, and then it's all more spread out than it was in Anaheim. Anaheim was a lot of like moving and not being able to cover stuff as it happened, but I think we'll be a little more chill this time around.
Yeah. Brandon C, thank you for the next one. You think Scorch appearing means we'll get Delta Squad next season?
That's every time Scorch shows up.
Maybe the Clone Rebellion will happen on Mount Tantus with the Commandos. Love you guys. Yeah, what is going on with the Commandos?
They're, like you said, they're just the frat bros, the jocks that are... I think that they have it in their head that they won't get replaced.
Right. But are they all clones?
Yep.
Definitely.
Yep.
That is wild to me that they're just...
It does seem weird.
Maybe...
I think that I would love to see them realize that, oh, no, we're not valuable either to them, and that they will join the right side.
I wonder if Hemlock has figured out a way to really reinforce their chips constantly.
That's possible, too. We saw them do that to Crosshair, so...
Yeah.
But that's a lot of people to do that, too.
Hi, buddy. Hello. He's just staring at us. Hi, buddy. Yeah. So, I don't know about Delta Squad. That we've heard that theory so many times now that I
I don't know why they don't have the rest of them around. I don't know why only Scorch gets to pop up. But...
Yeah.
Who knows?
Ice Defender, thank you for the super chat. I have a question. Is Stu John a canon planet?
Yes.
What's
it's still listed as Obi-Wan Kenobi's homeworld, named after Jon Stewart.
Oh.
I think it was like on a Daily Show interview. So it's kind of a joke, but people ran with it. I think it's been mentioned in reference books, so.
Good boy. Ivan Hernjack, thank you for the next super chat. Thoughts about people like Slick or Dogma being part of the clone prisoners? Have a good stream.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense. I don't know if Slick made it that far, just because he potentially, if you're a traitor during wartime, I wouldn't be surprised if they did not imprison him.
Yeah.
Dogma, I think there was more of a special case. Like, he executed a traitor, which he shouldn't have done, but they might not have executed him in return. It looked like he was just getting arrested. But I would love to see more and more recognizable clones pop up.
Yeah. Fan Fusion, thanks for the next one. I wonder if they'll take Tech's body and clone him somehow. Maybe a Tech without his memories. A clone of a clone of a clone of a clone of a clone.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, I don't think that would work. I mean, I'm sure they could do it, but it would be... What's that movie called with Michael Keaton? Multiplicity? Where it's like a clone of a clone is going to break down. It's going to be less of a perfect copy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that they're going to do the... just cloning him would not be a replacement. Like... I would want the real Tech back.
Yeah. Stuart J, thanks for the next super chat. Sid and her 30 pieces of silver can melt in the lava seas of Mustafar for all I care. Right? That is cursed
gold.
Cursed money, cursed credits.
I agree. Who are you more mad at, Saw or Sid?
That's a good question. Sid.
Me too.
Saw's just on his own mission. He didn't know they were going to be there. Sid knew full well what she was doing.
I'm still mad at Saw, but Sid has more of a relationship with them. It was more of a betrayal.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Saw was just
Saw's just
doing his thing.
Yeah.
Saw's being Saw.
Saw gonna Saw.
And I'm sure he didn't mean to get anyone killed, any of the Bad Batch killed, but he also wasn't being helpful and wasn't gonna care if anything like that did happen.
I don't think he meant to do anything that got Tech killed, but he also didn't care. I think if they confronted him about it, he would be like, sacrifices have to be made for the greater good. Shut up, Saw.
Ryan, thanks for the next super chat. Where's Tech's datapad? Unrecovered. Cody plus Rex saves... Wait. Cody plus Rex saves him.
I don't know what he did with his datapad. He may have dropped it when he was jumping back onto the train.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that there's anything helpful on that, but I do like the idea of Cody and Rex coming in and saving.
Well, we got to find
someone.
Cody again.
Right.
Wherever he's been hiding out.
I think he's one of the like super undercover people working with Rex. Hopefully, I don't know.
I do hope he's part of the group.
Remember when we were talking about how there aren't too many good Trandoshans when Sid first popped up in this story?
Yeah.
Now we're like, oh, Sid, way to be a stereotype.
Yeah. We saw the warning signs. We had that big debate earlier in the season when we were like, wait a minute. She has a Wookiee pelt on her chair, doesn't she?
Yeah.
We saw the warning signs.
He was snoring. Gets me every time. Wedge has the next super chat. My opinion of if Tech is dead or not is he is dead until he is not.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah.
Can't put the expectation of him coming back if he doesn't and be disappointed. That's true. I mean, I just am in denial more than getting my expectations up, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Like, I was reading all the new stuff that came out on StarWars.com, and there was an interview with Michelle Ang, and she was talking about the scene where Tech dies, and like just the words that they were using. I was like, it sounds permanent, and I don't want it to be. But yeah, it is going to be hard to like temper your expectations for wanting him to not be dead, because it's going to be so long before we get season 3.
That's how I'm treating it as well. That,
Or wait, what if it won't be long?
like, that would be wild if they were like, guess what? Bad Batch season 3 starts next week. What if they did that? That would be horrible.
Because they pushed the second season premiere a long time,
Yeah.
so I'm sure they already have been working on 3 for a while, so that would be nuts if they already had.
I think it's possible that we won't have to wait that long for
Yeah,
season 3.
probably.
I don't think it'll be 2 years, but yeah, I think they want us to believe that Tech died. So that's what I'm going with. And if they flip it around and they reveal, nope, he did survive, then I will get to celebrate and be super happy.
Yeah. Brian Ferreira, I have not gotten to your super chat yet, but I'm almost there. Yeah, if season 3 premiered May 4th, that would be nuts. They said the Young Jedi Adventures was going to come out May 4th, but
Yeah.
they've already put some of those out, and I think they're putting...
Those are not episodes. Those are just teasers, kind of.
Oh, I thought they were all going to be shorts.
I mean, they might. Each episode, I was listening to what Jennifer Lando was talking about shows like it, and I think multiple shorts make up an episode. Like, you might get 3 or 4 of those in an episode.
Did they say what they're showing at Celebration? They're just having a screening.
Yeah. They're having a screening at the same time as our panel.
The same ones that they put out.
No, I bet it'll be a full episode.
Yeah.
Maybe 2. Maybe all of them. Who knows?
The Lego set that they released, I just can't stop laughing at Smooth Yoda. Slightly younger Yoda just looks so strange to me. He's either a baby or he's old.
No in between.
Johnny C. Books and Comics, thank you for the next super chat. I'm convinced Sid will be instrumental in rescuing Omega next season. No way they show those two bonding without a redemption arc for Sid coming. I hope so. I hope they do something to redeem her, because it's going to be hard to have her in the show anymore at all. Why would she be? Unless she was there to help.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it would be hard to. It could be like you said, where it's like, you know what? Not everyone does change for the better. It does feel like that's in the cards for her. I'll be interested to see if they do it in a convincing enough way that makes me forgive her. Mm-hmm. We'll see. We'll see.
Star Orange said, "What's smooth Yoda?" I'm just talking about how Yoda looks in Young Jedi Adventures. He's like a little too smooth looking. And then they put out a Lego set for the Young Jedi Adventures stuff, and his little Lego character just looks kind of strange. I call him smooth Yoda.
I thought he looked fine.
Power Rangers Explained. Thanks for the next one. I'm glad I did Bad Batch before Mando, especially with how Bad Batch went. Great job predicting this week's Mando happening a week too early.
What did we predict?
Great job predicting this week's Mando happening a week too early.
Did we guess that would happen? I don't know what we guessed would happen in episode 6.
Maybe the pirates?
Maybe.
Coming back?
I don't remember. Or maybe, I think we thought the pirates would be episode 4, because that's a Carl Weathers directed episode. So we thought that, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Brian Ferreira, this is your next super chat. How do Saw's actions here compare to Rebel Rising? Because I know you mentioned that he was pretty terrible in that and did a lot of awful things.
Yeah, he kills children in that one. I mean, not like directly. They were all collateral damage, but he didn't care. I think that's probably still the worst thing he did. But this hurts more because we were like, we knew Tech. Mm-hmm. We've spent so much time with him, so that's why it's hitting a little harder. But I think that Rebel Rising makes him out to be worse.
Yeah.
I don't see any of the partisans, any of his people leaving him after this. People left him after Inusagi.
Yeah. Chazertron, we're not really talking Mando. I mean, we will if someone brings it up as a super chat, but they asked if we had already touched base about Zeb and Mando. But it hasn't come up on this stream. We talked about it on yesterday's stream a little bit. Daryl Cooper, thanks for the next super chat. As promised to Molly, as her social media tipping didn't work for me, this super chat is just so you can both have a drink on me at Cantina 2 during celebration. I hope to get into your panel. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, I turned on the tipping thing on Twitter because I heard about it a long time ago, and then I always thought that like only select people could do it, and I was just like, let's just see what happens. And then I tweeted like, if you want to buy me a drink in London, you can send me a Twitter tip. But yeah, it only works through Vimeo right now. So
through Vimeo?
Well, you connect
Venmo?
What did I say?
Vimeo.
Oh, Venmo.
I was like,
Venmo.
what?
No, Venmo. Sorry. You connect whatever cash exchange app you want to use. So if people don't have Venmo, it won't work. Anyways, thank you. Drinks on you at the Cantina 2. Very excited for that. VIP Music Tech Studios, thanks for the next super chat. I'm super excited to see the character dynamic between Omega and Emery. Emery in the next season. Also, that ending for episode 16 was unbelievable.
I'm excited to see the dynamic between Crosshair and Omega, because they haven't spent a whole lot of time together.
Yeah, that's true. And like Omega still, I feel like has love for him, like her other space dads.
Yeah, she ran right up to him and was concerned for him.
Right. I'm starting to lose my voice, which I'm shocked that it hasn't already happened. William Smith, thanks for the next one. Thoughts on the canceling of Willow and Indie series? Should the success of Star Wars and Marvel help offset the making of slightly more cult series? Was the Indie series canceled?
We're just talking rumors as usual.
Right. Right. Because I mean, the rumor of Willow being canceled was just being spread by the press, and then John Kasdan put out this huge long tweet basically saying like, it's not canceled, it's just not coming back yet, and we would love to bring it back. It's just we've contractually let the actors go so they can go do other stuff, but
basically it's not happening in the next year.
Yeah, he seemed very confident that it would happen and that they had plans for chapter 2 and 3 for Willow.
So I don't know. Like, I think John Kasdan has a tendency to be overly optimistic about that stuff, and I think he's kind of splitting hairs there. I hope it comes back, but the fact that they're not immediately going into another season, I don't want to say, I don't think it's canceled and never going to happen, but I don't know. I don't share his full optimism. But the Indie series, it was never announced. It was rumored. I would love to see more indie stuff, and I know tons of people like you who would love to see. I would watch Willow seasons 2 and 3, but I don't know.
Yeah. Chazertron, we did do the Amando stream yesterday. It just was not at our normal time. We did it at like 11 a.m. Pacific time, but it should be archived.
It's on the channel.
On the channel. Shayla Starkley has another super chat. Is the Emperor trying to clone the whole galaxy to be subservient? Maybe. I mean, I think what losers do.
I don't know what Hemlock means. Like, they might just be using cloning to research specific things. I don't know what he meant by all of that.
I don't know.
But it definitely sounds like they want to affect society, and that maybe, like, I don't think they're going to go and clone every individual person, but they might just start cloning citizens of the Empire. Like maybe that's what they want to do. Just clone people to do everything they need.
Yeah.
And who are, like, maybe they all have inhibitor chips like the clones did. And
yeah, I mean, that's kind of what they did with Emery. I'm assuming they had a hand in making her, or like at least giving her that job. Well,
she's old enough that I assume she was cloned by the Kaminoans at some point.
Yeah, I still think that was such a strange reveal.
It was just like, we kind of figured, so everyone was like, okay.
I didn't figure. I mean, I understood the thought process behind it. They sound the same.
Well, I think we heard about it so much that it was not a huge surprise.
I guess. I just never took that seriously. Because, like, her hair looks different, and she looks kind of different, but it's hard to tell because she's older. I don't know. I just didn't think at all that was actually going to happen. But what do I know? Scott McCreet, thanks for the next super chat. Is there info on the number of views for the Bad Batch season 1 and 2? I guess I'm asking how popular is the series. What would Star Wars consider successful enough to warrant making more seasons? Thank you.
I have no idea. I'm sure you can find... Is it Parrot Analytics? I forget.
Well, that's been known to be wrong in the past.
But I don't know any other company that tracks streaming numbers. So that might be the only thing we have to look at. So, but I have no idea. I do think we're going to hear about season 3 next week.
I think, and this has nothing to do, I shouldn't say that. This is just me taking a guess, but the more talk on social media and use of hashtags and such,
I think
the more popular they assume the show is.
I think that has to do with the Parrot Analytics stuff as well. It's like all around social online engagement and streaming numbers. I don't know. I don't remember. It's all so weird, and I don't really keep up with it.
Right.
I just I watch the shows, and if I like them, I'm like, I hope they make more. And I don't pay attention to rumor or numbers other than that.
We talked about Smooth Yoda, and now Swole Yoda has the next super chat. Do you think the rest of the Bad Batch will hold a grudge against Saw Gerrera and blame him for Tech's death? Maybe we can see a fight between them. I don't think they're gonna blame him because, again, that was not his goal. He just messed up their mission. They were both on separate missions, and neither of them knew the other was gonna be there. I don't think they're gonna hold much of a grudge to Saw when Sid's there to take all of their grudge.
I don't know that they're going to hold a grudge, but I mean, I think they should blame him. I would.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to seek him out to fight him. I think their main objective is finding Omega.
Yeah. Metanome Pictures has the next super chat. Is it possible the Commandos are all, quote, true believers, like the assassin clone? It might explain Scorch a little. Mind altered by Hemlock, maybe?
The Mandos? Oh, the Commandos.
Commandos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I feel like they're being finely tuned by Hemlock, and that's kind of like why they're stationed on Mount Tantus, but none of that's been proven yet. It's hard to say.
I think we're just to believe that they are more loyal than... I mean, yeah, I guess a true believer is a way to put that, but I don't think that they have whatever weird programming that one clone did.
They're just really good at their jobs, and the TK troopers aren't, so that's why they're there.
Yeah.
Matt McDonald, thanks for the next super chat. Hello, been a while for me on one of these live streams. Loved the finale. Hope you're both good and looking forward to seeing you at Celebration next week.
Thank you.
I think we both need about 2 or 3 full days of sleep and rest before we have our energy back, but that's good because we're about to have a little mini vacation before Celebration, so hopefully the jet lag doesn't get too bad once we get to London. Ice, thank you for the next super chat. Fantastic finale, but heartbroken over Tech. Can't believe they left us on such a cliffhanger. Didn't see some developments coming at all. Loved season 2. Yeah, we said this earlier, but the way that season 2 ended did not go anywhere near how we thought it was going to go. We were like, they're going to go to Mount Tantus and save Crosshair, and Crosshair was barely in it. He's just been laying on that table. Someone died.
I think that's the first time you've said that way.
Well, allegedly, someone died.
I didn't see nobody.
Scotty Heron, thanks for the next super chat. I thought it was a neat touch that the clone commandos have been slumming it of season 1 and 2 using DC-15s, but when they're guarding the summit / called in to capture the Bad Batch, they get their DC-17s back, 17Ms back.
Those are the commando blaster rifles specifically.
I had not noticed the difference in guns, but
honestly, I hadn't either.
It's a good touch. Cassia Pipe, thanks for the next one. how was the event thing yesterday? Also, see you in the UK.
Yay.
The event was great.
The event was a lot of fun.
We got to meet Cameron Monaghan very briefly at the end of the night, but he was so nice. Like, genuinely nice. He spent so much time talking to people and taking pictures with people, and we, like, barely caught him on his way out, but he was super nice about it, so good guy. That Cal guy is
That
is a
Cal
good guy.
Kestis. He's a good one.
Dragonus Prime, thanks for another super chat. We can forgive the crying orphan, but we draw the line at tech.
This is hard to... 1, 2,
Well, the
3,
crying
4, 5,
orphan
6,
is
7,
alive,
8, 9.
and supposedly tech is not.
Okay, I did that right.
Chad, thanks for the next one. Winter Soldier tech next season? We mentioned that earlier.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's very similar. Definitely seems like all the elements are possibly there.
Yeah. Ice, thanks for another super chat. So torn with how I feel. With my autism, I struggle with emotions, so I think seeing Tech, someone similar, lay down his life to save the people he loves is so powerful, but I would love for him to survive. I mean, yeah, it's certainly a noble sacrifice, and Saw has that line about sacrifice earlier in the episode, and when I heard it, watching it the second time, I was like, no, don't you say that to him.
Yeah. Well, I don't think...
Jerk.
I like the idea that Saw doesn't really know what he's talking about, but like
But Tech
Tech
does.
does. Tech knows what sacrifice is.
Yeah.
And why you sacrifice.
Yeah. And I mean, it is, you're right. There is an element of, for Tech to be the one to do this is extra special, because you'd think with his very analytical mind, he'd be like, well, this would, a move like this would be pointless, but
No, it's...
you could also argue that there was no other scenario that would save the rest of them, so that's why he did it.
It makes me think of Spock in the Wrath of Khan.
That's true.
Because he is the analytical one, and he's like, this is what makes sense. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. And it's very sad.
And it's very sad.
But Spock came back.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Now we're getting somewhere. Spock. We've got Star Trek and Lord of the Rings theories flying around to support the idea that he's not dead. The Cosmic Jedi, thanks for the next super chat. What other animated shows would you like to see? Oh boy.
Like, just in general?
Yeah. I think when we were talking about the animation styles.
What, Star Wars shows or any animated, like an existing animated show?
Oh, well, I assume Star Wars.
Sorry, I was counting Lego pieces that I have to put 38 of these together.
I mean, I'm always clamoring for more Night Sister stuff, so I still think if we got an animated version of Dark Disciple, that would be cool.
I think I'd like to see a High Republic animated show. Like, not Young Jedi Adventures, but something bigger. More our, not even our age, but more similar to the Clone Wars.
Yeah. Luke training at his first academy might be a cool animated show, because I think I talked about this a long time ago, and how, like, if we're gonna bring Luke back in storytelling, let's do it in animation, so we're not spending all of our money trying to make live action Luke look real.
Right. No, I think that's a great one. And they could do it in a lot of different eras. It could be with Ben Solo, or it could be Luke and Leia going on adventures when she was training. It could be Luke and Lor Santeca. I think there are a lot of different avenues for a Luke animated show.
Yeah. Harley Crabtree, thanks for the next super chat. It's a good thing I was home alone watching Bad Batch because I literally shouted, "You effing scum," when I realized Sid betrayed them all. How rude of her. Indeed.
That's pretty close to what I wanted to yell.
Yeah, you were like, "You..." And then just trailed off.
I did the Joe Pesci in Home Alone.
Yeah.
That still sounded bad as I was.
Yeah.
I did not mean for that.
It's hard to fake swear. That's why I end up saying like really dumb, silly stuff when I'm trying to not swear. What did I say on stream? She was there to cause a ruckus.
Instead of there to F up, you said she was there to cause a ruckus. You weren't wrong, though.
I turned into a character from the Andy Griffith Show. David McKay, thanks for the next super chat. I have loved this season of The Bad Batch. I hope if we get season 3, it gets its time to shine and doesn't have to share its release date with another Star Wars show.
Yeah, me too.
See you in London. It was spelled out with A's, so I could say it. London.
Yeah, get that out of your system now and don't do it while we're over there.
My British accent is not that bad, but it's...
I don't think it matters.
Quite... it needs work. It's still a work in progress. But yeah, no, I should not do that in London.
What time is it? Because I've done 3 bags already.
Oof. It's 7:30. We've got a couple more to go. If you want to read these.
Okay.
I gotta give my voice a break.
Like me read them? Oh, yeah. I gotcha.
Oh, I gotta pet this puppy. Oh, you're taking your...
Yeah, I'm taking my chair because you always move my chair.
They're the same chair, and they're adjustable for a reason.
Yeah, but we could just keep our own chairs, and you don't have to keep adjusting the height of every chair I sit in.
But I like it, because you get mad.
Calm like a bomb, aka 12th Dragon, thank you for the next one. Now that Season 3 is inevitable, what is the #1 thing you want to see show up?
In Season 3?
Yeah.
Tech. I will die on this hill.
I know. I'm looking forward to, I think from what they set up, I'm really looking forward to seeing Crosshair and Omega and their dynamic. I think that's going to be really fun.
Thrawn. Because I'll say by the time we get Season 3, we will have seen live action Thrawn.
I still think he will be a way out from joining the Empire at that point in time. But maybe. VIP Music Tech Studios, thank you for the next super chat. If Mando was in Bad Batch, I'd put a bounty on Tarkin or whomever brought Omega to Tantus. Good soldiers follow orders. This is the way. Honestly, like, why don't the Bad Batch just go get one of those tracking fobs for Omega? Those seem to work like magic. Just point it around and be like, oh, I got a ping. It's this way.
Well, it's too late for that. I lost her.
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't know where Grogu was. You just get a tracking fob, and it somehow magically tells you how to get there.
Well, we don't know how they work.
That's what I'm saying.
I have to assume that, like, he's got a microchip like our cat has.
Grogu does?
Yeah. He's been chipped.
One day we'll learn how those tracking fobs work. Scotty here, and thank you for another super chat. What's up with the DC-17M bolts? First, the CC's fire with the Clone Commandos fire with red bolts. Hunter Wrecker steal a pair and fire blue bolts. Then Wrecker is shown firing red, and after that, Hunter fires blue and Wrecker fires red. Just I think that's a cosmetic choice, like in a video game. You're like, you know what? I feel like changing my lightsaber color. So
Aren't the blue ones stuns?
those are the rings.
Yeah.
The blue bolts are. They're supposed to be like better for fighting against droids. They're supposed to be kind of ionized, but that's just something a reference book said once. It's not.
I mean, that sounds right to me.
Yeah, it makes sense. I would assume that the red and the blue was just to help show who was shooting which bolt. But then if Wrecker's firing red and then Hunter fires blue, and like if it just got mixed around, maybe they lost track of who was supposed to be shooting what color.
Hi, sweet boy.
But Lindsey Brown, thank you for the next super chat. Good news. Tech uploaded his consciousness to Gonky. Bad news. He can only gonk.
Oh no. Poor Gonky in this episode too. I was like,
but it sounds like gunk. It still sounds like Tech.
I was like, I wonder who told Gonky what happened to Tech. Who had to break it to him?
Yeah, who's gonna play games on Gonky's head now?
They were best friends.
Joshua West, thank you for the next super chat. Separatists save Tech. They fly away, but not into orbit.
Separatists?
Oh, I think he means Saw.
Oh,
the partisans.
Partisans.
I mean that would go a long way to me going back to Saw Gerrera's side a little bit.
I mean, it definitely looked like they flew off, though.
Yeah, I don't think they did that.
They were like, peace out.
I think they left. Or else, like, they could have helped the Bad Batch while they were in that jam in the first place. They had a shuttle with weapons. Nah, I don't see Saw Gerrera going back to help anyone.
What a jerk.
He's there to cause a ruckus and then leave. Mighty Ant, thank you for the next super chat. Hemlock using the Bad Batch's names struck me as especially creepy compared to other imps. He acknowledges their people while experimenting on them. Oh, that's a good point. I love Hemlock as a villain. He is a great villain.
Boo.
Boo. Yeah,
I mean,
that's
he's a good
exactly.
villain, sure.
Yeah, he's fun to boo, but Jimmy Simpson is doing a great job of just voicing him and making him creepy. I love that the other Imperials at the summit even are kind of like, all right, weirdo. He's very compelling to me, and I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad he didn't die, just because I want to see him stick around and just.
I want to see him suffer. Is what I want to see.
Eventually, but right now I'm enjoying his brand of creepy evil.
He's a quiet talker. And
yeah, I liked when he was yelling to Omega, but it still was whispery.
Yeah.
Just.
I mean, the fact that he
really fun character details.
The fact that he was talking quietly to Tarkin and Krennic and all of those other guys, like high official or high officer rank, or what am I trying to say? High ranking
officers,
people.
Yeah. In
the Empire, and he still came in there with all of his swagger and confidence to talk quietly at them.
Yeah. Fudge David, thank you for the super chat, says Tech is with Mace Windu in Space Cuba. They're just hiding out.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to be in Space Cuba with anyone, it might as well be Mace Windu.
Chastertron 5000, thank you for the next super chat. So, Zeb, my sis and I weren't quite sure until the credits rolled. They did it. What did you think about how they pulled it off? Thought it was great. My experience with it was watching Carson Teva and then being like, oh, cool, Lasat's there. And then being like, oh, that's Steve Bloom.
Yeah, the voice, you're like, okay.
I was like, I'm 95% sure that's Zeb. And then when the credits came up, I like really quickly looked for Steve Bloom's voice and then saw Zeb written next to it. And I was like, yes.
I'm trying to find the tweet because the official Star Wars account tweeted a still
of it.
And it looks so freaking good.
It's impressive.
Like, the lighting, the beard, the skin.
The skin and then like the hair on his arms. Yeah. It's really cool. I thought he looked great.
I always thought when I thought about seeing a Lasat in live action, I always thought it would end up looking like Kelsey Grammer's X-Men
the Beast
character. Yeah, the Beast, which just looked like a big angry Nubs at this point.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm gonna make a meme out of that somehow. Yeah. But no, it looks amazing, and it was such a quick scene that like they were even joking about it on the Star Wars show, like that, or was it the Star Wars show? Just that Dave Filoni snuck that in and was like, by the way, here's live action Zeb, and Rebels fans just lost their minds.
I wonder, because he looks so good. I bet it's expensive. I wonder if that scene was kind of to explain where he is in Ahsoka. If he's not with the crew, they could be like, oh, well, he's with the New Republic.
Oh, meaning we won't see much of him?
Yeah, like, I hope he is there. I want to see him as part of the team, but I wonder if they have the budget to have him be in every episode and in every scene or whatever. Like, if he's not around that much, I would understand why.
I mean, I imagine Star Wars has Marvel money, and Marvel has characters like Groot running around in several movies, so like they can afford it.
Well, yeah, those are movies. It's different from...
Yeah, that's true. They might as well be movies. The Star Wars live action shows.
I mean, they try to pull off that quality, but they don't have the same budget, so that's all I'm saying.
They should. Give it up, Disney. Give up that cash money.
Garth McMurray, thank you for the next super chat. Have fun at Celebration. If you get to meet the band members of Ash at the cantina, please say hi to the drummer, my distant cousin, Rick McMurray. Oh.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
We will say hi for you.
That's funny.
I had never heard of that band before we found out about this event, and I'm very excited to see them play.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun night. Gabo Lizardo, thank you for the next super chat. Between Grogu's flashback, Ragnar's abduction, and Omega, Star Wars is really putting child characters through the ringer. Love your show. Have fun in London. Thank you, Gabo. And yeah, they really do like putting children in peril.
It's hard to babysit in Star Wars.
That would be a fun series of just like just a babysitter trying their best to keep kids out of trouble. Impossible.
Pretty hard, especially when they're super cute
and have superpowers.
That's kind of like, it reminds me of how someone did like a poll for The Last of Us season, the end of season 1, and it was like 100% of parents said that he did the right thing. So I mean, parents are loving seeing all the stuff in Star Wars about like protecting kids, I bet.
Yeah. Ice, thank you for another super chat. Always go back and forth on Saw. I want to like him because Forrest Whitaker is awesome and does a great job, but with each appearance it becomes harder and harder, but I blame him for what happened. Oh, like, I mean, I like the character. There's a reason he keeps popping up. He's a good character, and Saw Gerrera, or Forrest Whitaker, I keep doing that, just calling actors by their character names. Forrest Whitaker plays him incredibly well. And I love that he is so game to play him when it's at that age, and like Andrew Kishino always plays Saw at this age. But yeah, just because I like the actor, I'm like, I can separate that, and I enjoy the character, but I am so mad at him right now. The Akashachi, thank you for the next super chat. Do you think we will ever get any in-lore explanation why Boba and Omega have New Zealand accents and the clones do not?
In universe? No, probably not. Out of universe, it's because they were filming in that area, right?
Don't the clones have kind of, at least when they're played by Tim Morrison, I think he sounds like he has a New Zealand accent.
Wait, read the question again? I misheard. I guess I misheard.
Why do Boba and Omega have New Zealand accents and the clones don't? But I think the clones do.
Yeah, they do.
When they're played by D. Bradley Baker, not as much, but...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I mean, Tim's accent is legit, so D. Bradley Baker is great, at voices and accents, but it might always sound a little different.
Yeah. And I do think that like Omega's accent is obviously way thicker than Django's. And maybe Tim Morrison even maybe tried to dial it back a little bit when he was playing Django Fett. I don't know. But when we heard the clones voiced by him last week fighting Keller and Beck, that sounded New Zealand to me.
Yeah.
Andrew711, thank you for the next super chat. We do have certain plagues introduced in Legends. The Empire might be researching ways of spreading / resisting them, or things like them. I mean, that would track with Hemlock.
The blue shadow virus is back.
Hemlock waltzing into that room full of poison in episode 14.
Oh,
and him being named after poison. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, they could be working on a special group of soldiers that are immune to a bunch of different kinds of poison and are super strong and like have all these special abilities.
Yeah, I don't know what he's up to, but like anything can be in Tantus.
I never know what he's doing.
I never know what he's doing back there. And he could also be telling Tarkin one thing, like, these are my goals with the clones, and we're trying to create a society that will bow down to the Empire. Meanwhile, he's actually doing something completely different.
He's literally just a mad scientist who goes to these meetings and is like, yeah, what I'm doing is going to help all of you guys for sure. Like, this is for
absolutely see that.
The greater good of the Empire, totally.
Yeah.
Not for my sick mind.
Sean Soley, thank you for the next super chat. Long-time listener, first-time caller. That's a lie. Just wanted to say, have fun in London and don't work too hard. Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
We got to hang out with Sean over the weekend, and it was lovely.
It was.
Ice, thank you for another super chat. I didn't think we'd see Krennic, but it was a great surprise. Admiral Coburn, Plo Koon's admiral, and Hurst Ramadi from Rogue One were also nice cameos. That I didn't know for sure that was Ramadi until the credits also. I like that he had a different haircut. Like, he was still bald, but it was a little longer in the back. He kind of had like a bald mullet. So that was fun.
Bald mullet.
And he's always hanging around Tarkin, so that made sense.
He's always just riding Tarkin's coattails.
And yeah, having Coburn there as someone who was like, the clones were kind of cool. Are we sure we should be doing this?
Yeah, that was interesting to see. But, I mean, you saw how quickly he was like, yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah, Tarkin is just like, I didn't like the clones. And Coburn's like,
Okay, whatever.
Fine. Gabba Lizardo, thank you for another super chat. How does Rex go from operating against the Empire to Selos and Rebels? Great question. I think we'll find out in future seasons of The Bad Batch. I think that's part of the story.
Yeah.
That maybe something... I did like that the season finale, in that same scene, they brought up the idea of a clone uprising. Like, what if the clones find out what we're doing? There are 1.2 million of them. Well, probably less after the war and everything, but still, there are a lot of them.
Yeah. I mean, that's why Hemlock is saying, give them to me. Right. They're Imperial property.
But yeah, I think we're going to learn more about Rex and his emotional journey. Riv Wilson, thank you for this super chat that just says, I never did like Saw Gerrera.
He was always kind of shifty.
Eric Foster, thank you for the next super chat. I loved some of the design choices. The Red Security TK Troopers, also the early AT-STs had that boxy look like the AT-ATs we saw in Rebels. Oh, yeah, the new Walker.
You said while we were watching it for the first time, you were like, is that a different Walker?
Well, like, we're supposed to get the AT-DP, the defense pod, before we get to the AT-ST. That's what we see in Star Wars Rebels. But then this looked kind of like the AT-DT in some ways from Solo: A Star Wars Story. So I think we're just seeing like the design evolution, which I really enjoyed. To me, that was a new Walker. I don't think we've seen it before.
Yep.
Dr. Puffington, thank you for the next super chat. Do you guys think it's weird that they haven't mentioned Satine in either Obi-Wan or Mando? I hope they do mention her, but I don't really think it's weird, just because that would be opening up a big can of worms for people who haven't watched the Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. So I want them to do it, but they need to be careful about how, where they're just gonna be like, oh, by the way, Bo-Katan had a sister.
Yeah.
She was the ruler of the Duchess of Mandalore. Like, I think they've talked about her being royalty enough that they could probably ease into it some way.
I think the only two characters that should be able to bring, or that should have the chance to bring her up, are Bo or the Armorer.
Armorer would be good.
The Armorer would be really interesting, because we still don't know so much about what the Armorer knows and how much she knows about Clan Kryze as a whole.
Yeah. But I think that she did say, oh, Clan Kryze lost the way, and then we fell apart because of them, and I think she's blaming Duchess Satine specifically for being a pacifist. So I think that there's definitely a way for the Armorer to do it, but we'll see how.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that she was such a pacifist and changed Mandalore so drastically makes me think it could be brought up, because that's where they're headed, and they keep bringing up Mandalore's history.
I don't think they're headed to pacifism.
No, I'm just mean they're headed to Mandalore.
Oh, yeah.
They gotta get that mythosaur out of that water.
They gotta tempt it out with like some beef jerky. Yeah. Come here, mythosaur. That's how Mandalore the Great did it. Shadow Demon 117, thank you for the next super chat. Hello, just throwing this out. Omega and Tech spend a lot of time this season. Then he's sacrificed himself. Do you think if Crosshair will also sacrifice himself, since Omega will probably spend time with him? I hope not. Like, I don't want that to just be... I don't want hanging out with Omega to be a death sentence.
Yeah, that would be so traumatizing for her.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we've talked about that a lot, the idea of Crosshair sacrificing himself to save the batch, but at this point, I don't see that happening as much, just because they're all split up, and Crosshair's in no good condition to be doing anything heroic yet, but it could still happen. We just don't necessarily want it to be that way.
Yeah,
that seems like
don't
a
want
cop
him to
out.
die. I mean, I don't want any of them to die.
And they won't.
Obviously. They never have, and they never will.
Ain't no way.
Darth Nicholas, thank you for the next super chat. I see two here that sound kind of familiar, so I'll read them both. I saw the reveal of Emery being another Django clone coming. With that said, I just watched Whale Rider, Keisha Castle Hughes' breakthrough film, and it's crazy how much she resembled a young Boba Fett. Great New Zealand film, too. I've never seen that, but I think she was nominated for the Academy Award for that.
For what movie?
Whale Rider. I seem to remember, like, she was really young, and I remember I think I was rooting for her just because she was young. And Darth Nicholas also said, is a New Zealand accent equivalent to a certain Concord Dawn accent? Reiko Hardeen and Finn Rao also hail from Concord Dawn, but they each have their own unique accents, perhaps coming from two different regions. Also, Reiko wasn't Mandalorian? He may have just not followed the creed. Like, I think it seems like being a Mandalorian is pretty ubiquitous. It's just whether or not you follow the creed.
They're playing it pretty fast and loose.
Like, he could be from Concord Dawn, but he could have been born to, like, a non-Mandalorian family, or maybe he just moved there when he was young. I don't know. But as for the different regions, yeah, I would think that even though we tend to say stuff like Twi'leks often all have French accents, it's like, I bet there are different regions of Ryloth where they have different accents there as well.
And then there are people like Hera who, like, tried very hard to overcome her accent.
Yeah, just because she wanted to distance herself from her father and stuff like that. Sweet Feet Pete, thank you for... I see 2 super chats here that I'll read. Plan 99's plan was to sacrifice himself for his brothers. It was staring us in the face the whole time.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
We talked about that earlier.
But we just didn't want to think that was the case. And Emery isn't a clone. She's from the world between worlds. I know Alex agrees. She's Omega from the future. Okay, here we go. She's from the future. She's come here to help. And at the end, they all go into the world between worlds. They save Tech, and they live happily ever after.
If she is a clone of Omega, she is Omega from the future, from a certain point of view.
I will say, it's possible that Tech could have been saved through the world between worlds. Because we don't... It's kind of like Ahsoka, where we didn't see her die. Like, if we saw her get killed and then they went to the world between worlds, like, you can't save her from what happened. I very much believe if something happens, the world between worlds will not change it. You can just kind of see, but if someone opened up a portal and saw a clone falling by and they just went zoop and pulled him in, because we didn't see him die, and like his goggles fell off.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. You've come so far with those theories.
I don't think that happened.
Well, she wouldn't have said that I'm your sister line.
That's true.
If she was her.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about saving Tech. I'm in my own bargaining here. Where I'm like, but yeah, I agree that Emery is not from the world between worlds. Lindsey Brown, thank you for the next super chat. Did you discuss already how the Kiwi accent is genetic? Learn something new every day. I didn't know that.
Genetic?
Like, it's not something... I didn't know that at all. I am interested to read more about that. But so... Huh. So it doesn't have anything to do with how you were raised. It's just like, that's your voice. And I'm sure there are different accents, but... I don't know. I'll read about it. Dragonus Prime, thank you for the next one. I'm convinced Coburn was there because Tom Kane isn't able to play Yularen anymore. Yeah, maybe. I mean, Yularen would have worked well because he obviously also served alongside a lot of other clones.
I don't know that accents aren't hereditary. I think maybe that's them saying about the clones all having the same accent. Then that would make it genetic.
Oh.
We're dumb.
I was like, what?
We're so dumb.
Okay.
We need sleep.
We're also going on very little sleep. So I'm sorry, Lindsay. I was excited to learn something new. Lindsay said, learn something new every day. And I was like, you sure do.
You sure do.
I'll reiterate.
We were legit trying to make that work in our brains. We're
I
like,
think
okay.
Tuesday, 4 hours of sleep. Wednesday, 4 hours of sleep, plus an hour nap. Yeah, I haven't been crushing it with sleep lately. So blame my stupidity on that.
Well, that will change soon. We'll get a good night's sleep tonight, hopefully. We'll hopefully sleep on the plane thanks to some sleeping medications, maybe. And then we'll be on vacation. So hopefully we'll sleep then.
Well, Charpy, thank you for another super chat. What if Chuchi got clones rights / pardons bill passed? I don't think she's going to. I hope she does, but I don't think that's going to happen.
In a perfect world... she would, and if Mon Mothma were in charge, she would, but it's neither of those things.
Chazatron 5000, thank you for 2 more super chats in a row here. Speaking of New Zealand, thinking Taika, are there Star Wars creatures or monsters that would make for a great version of What We Do in the Shadows? Well, there are kind of Star Wars vampires. They're like Force vampires, but they exist.
I mean, Night Sisters would be funny.
Night Sisters would be funny.
Like a silly Night Sisters show.
Yeah.
Where they're just like teleporting around and setting everything on green fire.
I think that would probably be the closest thing. Just the magical aspect of it.
It'd be like witches, which do exist in the What We Do in the Shadows universe. But...
I like that. And Jazzotron says, Keller and Beck also saves tech.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Keller and Beck
Love
just runs
that.
around the galaxy saving the favorites.
He is the keeper of the world between worlds.
Yeah.
So not only did he get to save Grogu, he gets to be the shepherd of the universe and runs the world between worlds.
When Ahsoka... Oh my god, I can't believe I'm about to say all this dumb stuff. When Ahsoka said that his mind is like dark for a long time, that's when Keller and Beck took him to the world between worlds. And then he exited the world between worlds at another time. So he's not actually 50 years old. That would solve all the problems of like...
Why is he a 50-year-old baby?
Yeah, if Yoda has been training Jedi for 800 years, then why, like, blah, blah, blah. So technically, yeah, he was born 50 years ago, but he zipped through the world between worlds, and he's actually only 10.
He's still a baby.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
I don't believe that. I don't actually believe that. That's a...
I'm going to clip that out and post it on the other channel and be like, confirmed.
Ice, thank you for... I see 2 super chats here. I have to wonder how Crosshair will react to tech. I think he may hate himself for not mending fences when he could have, starting to come around on him. And I didn't believe Emery was a clone, but a great reveal. Interested to see what her story is. Even her actress was suspicious she had ties to Omega. I haven't read that interview yet, but I want to. That's funny. I mean, like, everyone was just doing the whole, like, why does she have basically the same accent? But I thought it was just so... It was so right there in my face that I was like, nah, I don't think so.
I can't believe EA Star Wars tweeted pictures of the event that they specifically told us not to. Just of the room.
Yeah. Well, they get to do what they want. It's their event.
Well, I guess that's okay.
I think that you make a good point about tech and Crosshair, that Crosshair might be really upset
about tech.
Yeah,
tech.
and that like he didn't ever get to mend fences, as Ice says.
He's not
That's
gone.
just sad.
He's not gone.
He's alive.
He's alive. Oh wait, did you keep that in the edit? In the Bad Batch review?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta find it.
Yeah, it's in there. It's near the end, but it's there.
No one made any comments about it, so now I gotta go find it.
Well, it's near the end. Like, your wave was right at the beginning, so...
That was in the Mando review.
Yeah, I know. But it was at the beginning of that video, so people left comments. Like,
Right.
a lot of people saw it. Not everyone sticks around to the end of our videos.
True. We go on and on.
Darth Nicholas has 3 super chats here. Thank you. Do you see Omega and Emery Carr taking the Mandalorian Creed one day? Would you like to see such a thing? No.
Absolutely not.
I'm still over the Creed. I'm glad that they seem to be a little more accepting nowadays, but still. As much as I hate Scorch for what he did to Omega, I'm glad they once again found a way to highlight how skilled he is. He kind of puts his new Commando brothers to shame. I do like that he is the Commando that gets the spotlight, and if he pops up, you're like, uh-oh, here comes trouble.
Yeah.
Do you think clone commandos mourned the destruction of Kamino? What do you think was really going through their heads in the final scene on Tantus? I don't know what to think of the commandos, really.
I still don't. I feel like the only way to make that make sense is Hemlock has found a way to what's the word I'm looking for?
Like, keep their chips heightened.
Yeah.
Keep them loyal.
Oh my god, the word is like on the tip of my tongue. Not reinstate. What is it when you have a cast?
Reset?
No. I'm losing it. Anyways, yeah. Hemlock has found a way to work on the chips to the point where...
Reinforce?
Yes.
That was calm like a bomb.
Yes, reinforce.
Good call, calm like a bomb. What do I think was really going through their heads? Circus music? I don't know. Like, I think
white
that,
noise.
I kind of think that, yeah, they are just there to be loyal. I think that they needed some villains that weren't the TK troopers, because we know that the Bad Batch can take them pretty easily. But when commandos show up, it's a signal to the audience that, like, oh, they're in danger. Mm-hmm. Ice, thank you for another super chat. Just makes me wonder how many female Jango clones there are and whether he knew about them. This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
Jango did not care about any of the clones except for Boba.
Yep.
Period.
He
didn't care how many there were, if they made female versions. He was just like, all I want out of this deal is
a little baby boy.
A little baby boy in a little apartment.
In an apartment, yeah.
On Camino.
I mean, no, you are correct. He said exactly that in the Age of Republic comics. He doesn't care about the clones. I don't think he cares at all what the Kaminoans do to with his DNA.
To be honest, like, he did care for Boba, but he was also just training Boba to be
him.
So he might as well have been just any other clone.
Yeah, he just wanted his legacy to live on. Like,
he wanted his own unaltered clone to shape into himself.
Yes.
Which it's
so narcissistic. Yeah. Which I love that got addressed in the Book of Boba Fett. Like, not directly, but all the stuff about when he went on that spirit journey and the tree in the ocean, like his family tree was strangling him.
Yeah. He had too much to try to live up to.
And he had to make his own identity. Ugh, that was so good.
Let's just watch Book of Boba Fett again.
Honestly, I will.
That and Andor are shows that I actively want to rewatch. You know what I don't really want to rewatch?
Obi-Wan?
It's a hot take.
I want to rewatch. We haven't had time to rewatch any of them since they have come out. Any of the series from last year. I want to rewatch that too. I want to rewatch it just start to finish in one go, because I think you could do that pretty quick. I think it would sit better with me.
Whenever we're not actively covering Star Wars shows, you know what we should do?
Watch Star Wars.
Rewatch Star Wars shows that we covered before.
It's like, but I do want to rewatch them.
Yeah,
but then there's also like Ted Lasso's on, and there's so much stuff all the time. There's too many good shows out.
Yeah.
Everyone calm down.
We're just easy to please.
Yeah. Kyle Ruiz, thank you for a super chat. Building at the moment 1 and 144th snap kit, 1 and 144th scale, I guess, snap kit of the Havoc Marauder. Question? Build AMT? Build a mount?
Build a mount 1 and 140 snap kit.
I don't understand what that means, Kyle. I'll keep an eye out in the chat for clarification. And Darth Nicholas sent in another one. Thank you, Darth Nicholas. I always liked the idea of there being other female biological clones besides Omega. The presence of Emery Carr fulfilled my wish in a way. I wonder if there were more female Jango clones, perhaps those who fought as soldiers. Well, there is Sister. She's still out there. I hope. But I don't know. I kind of think if there's one clone like Emery, there's probably more.
I mean, yeah, just because we haven't seen more clones of Emery on Mount Tantus doesn't mean they don't exist there. It's a big mountain. Mm-hmm. That would be wild. That would be such a Battlestar moment when Boomer goes in and sees all the 8 clones. Oh, that'd be crazy. I don't want that to happen.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Kyle. Asking if you would want to build the AMT, that's the name of the kit company of the ship. I haven't seen it. That'd be cool.
AMT.
The only real models I build are Lego.
Yeah, we're not super into like actual model building because it's too tedious.
Still snapping bricks together. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that looks
I didn't
Pretty
know
legit.
that was a thing. Well, okay, so it's real small.
I mean, it still might be a decent size. Like the Havoc Marauder, I assume, is rather large. So
That's true.
At 144th scale, it's
What do I want with a tiny ship?
a little bitty. But that does look really neat.
Mm.
Lindsey Brown, thank you for another super chat. When Hemlock said he didn't know the clones could be paternal, I was like, bro, all Django wanted was to be a dad. Like, of course clones like kids.
I mean, he wasn't necessarily a good dad, but yeah, okay, I'll say this. I don't think all he wanted was to be a dad. I think all he wanted was Boba Fett.
Yeah.
The unaltered clone he wanted a kid. He didn't want to be a dad.
He wanted a legacy.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted. He didn't want a son that would grow into their own person.
Is a complicated and important question that I feel like people don't honestly ask themselves before having kids. But I do not want to get into that.
Yeah. Daniel Zlatkin, thank you for the next super chat. This show's sad AF. What happened to Hemlock's hand? I don't know, but I hope we find out. I like that little just character detail. That's another thing they teach you in improv is to make a character interesting, it doesn't take much.
Yeah.
Like, just give them a physical trait. And Hemlock, with his mysterious glove that he's always, like, messing with it, you're like, what is going on? It creates intrigue.
He's got one of those tiny hands from Scary Movie.
There may be. Garth McMurray.
Or the Zillow Beast bit it off.
Yeah. I like the idea that he lost it in some weird experiment.
Yeah.
I think that's the implication. And Garth McMurray has another super chat. Thank you, Garth. The cloning storyline in Bad Batch and the scientists after Grogu to use his genetic material to clone Force-sensitive people in The Mandalorian, could the stories connect through Moff Gideon working with the Advanced Science Division? I won't really be surprised if we see more connectivity with The Mandalorian. I mean, I think we did yesterday with those cloning tubes looked an awful lot like what we saw in The Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. So I could see Gideon.
Was Pershing working for Gideon?
Yes.
Then, yeah, that checks out.
Yeah. I think that there's potential there. And Spacer V has the last super chat here. Thank you, Spacer. Do you think we'll see a Starhawk in Mando? Ooh. I kind of hope so. Not kind of. I really hope so.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Because that's such a cool ship design.
The way that they have... It took them a while to establish what it really looked like, but now they have. It's in Star Wars Squadrons. I think it would be time to bring it in.
Yeah.
But
the New Republic needs to do something good, and it's bringing that ship in.
bringing a fleet to do some good in the Outer Rim. I think that would be neat. But we are going to wrap it up there today because
I gotta go pack.
We actually have more work to do also.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here tomorrow night. But thank you so much for hanging out with us and talking Bad Batch. The Clone Zone will return eventually whenever the Bad Batch Season 3 begins, and I assume we'll get that announcement next Monday. Not this coming Monday, but the Monday of celebration, I think, is the Bad Batch panel.
That sounds right.
So we'll see a bunch of you out there in London soon. Can't wait to hang out. Everyone have a great night, and may the Force be with you.